All right. Kenny Sargent, Crash Gladys, the Speed Freaks. If you could describe this lunch we just had in one word, what would it be?
You or me?
You go. It's your word.
It is my word. It's legendous.
That was what we needed. Thank you. Sold. Woman in the red.
And now for Dinner with Racers, presented by
Continental Tire.
with your hosts, Ryan Eversley and Sean Heckman.
Placeholder radio sound. I'm a driver. I'm very angry. This is the sound of a driver on the radio during a race.
What do you think I should order?
All right. Dinner with Racers. Welcome. Speed Freaks. So I'm Sean Heckman.
I'm Ryan Eversley.
And if you don't know who we are, join the club. So anyway, we are driving. We are 8 miles out of Highway 41 in Florida, on our way back home to Ryan's place in Atlanta.
Yeah, buddy.
And anyway, so we're just wrapping up our tour of Dinner with Racers. We just traveled around the country in what vehicle?
My Acura MDX.
And what were the tires on that?
We went with the Continental Tire
Oh, interesting.
because they're our sponsor, and we like Continental Tires.
So we met up with a handful of people in racing that we thought were interesting. We invited them to dinner, and that's our story. There wasn't an agenda. We didn't have a structure. A lot of them we didn't know. And at the time, seemed like a good idea. So 8,000 miles and 30 days later, in how many states?
Across 20 states.
Wow. So anyway, 27 meals is the final result of this trip. And all so that you could turn around and tell us you didn't
Like our free podcast.
Yeah. All right. Next up, the Speed Freaks. So we met up in Phoenix, Arizona, with Kenny Sargent.
Yep.
And Crash Gladys.
Okay.
And we sat down to just kind of discuss. They're in a semi-similar world as us.
I was there too.
And so we covered a lot of topics with them and sort of what it takes to do their show, the history, who they like, who they don't like. They were pretty much unafraid to answer anything except why they have nicknames. It's the one question they wouldn't answer.
We learned that Kenny Sargent, when he was putting out the vibe trying to get a co-host, he almost had a very famous celebrity.
And we hear them fight.
We do, and it was real.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that wasn't a joke. So anyway, so let's hear what the Speed Freaks have to say. We met at
Speed Freaks.
So we met up at the Hillside Spots. What'd you have?
I had the Nutella crepes. They were fantastic.
And I had a chicken sandwich.
Weird.
Let's hear the Speed Freaks.
Speed Freaks.
Brought to you by Continental Tire.
Continental Tire. Continental Tire.
All right, we're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Sorry.
So you guys just moved here to Phoenix a couple years ago?
2 years ago? Year and a half ago?
June of 2013.
Where were you before that?
LA.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah. And what brought you this way? Business?
All sports, not just motorsports.
Okay.
So we were doing Speed Freaks out of LA at the Peterson Automotive Museum, which was just
awesome.
bitchin'.
That place is amazing.
Wait, and you lived in Newhall? Because
Yes.
that's a hell of a drive.
That's
on
Sunday nights,
Sunday.
though. Just
Oh, it's a Sunday night show.
Yeah,
Okay,
Sunday
because
night.
like Newhall, basically, Peterson Automotive Museum is kind of in this
Wilshire.
literally mid-Wilshire, so it's in the center of Los Angeles, so there's no easy freeway to get there. So it's you're going down Wilshire for
Right.
like 15 minutes, and then 405, which I assume is how you would get there.
No, we did the
There's no good time to
405,
go there.
101.
Okay,
just
yeah, there's no
depending.
good time to get there.
101, Hollywood and Highland, and then down
Right.
to Wilshire. Yeah, but you're right.
But there's no easy way to get
No.
there, exactly. And if that was a daily commute, that'd suck. So
Anyway,
anyway, sorry.
wouldn't
So
happen.
Peterson Automotive, that is a cool place. And
Oh, that's a bitchin' museum.
Right.
what I didn't, I've still never seen it, but I am told, like the Peterson Museum by itself is pretty cool to go to, but I'm told there's a whole underground filled with cars that are stored and all kinds of stuff that you would otherwise never see sort of above surface. Is that
We went
true?
there
He rotates
once.
them.
Yeah.
Well, I say he's not alive anymore, but they rotate them. But yes, it's what's underneath that's more impressive than what's up top.
Sure.
And they just reopened.
That's not true for my dating life.
I was going
Right.
to say, that sounds like a girl I used to date.
Yep.
Anyway,
my
go on.
Didn't
Yeah.
I?
Years ago.
Crasher, they reopened.
Oh.
They had it shut down for months for their remodel.
The museum.
Yeah.
Weren't they supposed to do an NHRA wing or something?
Well,
along
they were
those
going
lines?
to do something down in that
Or the
area you were
NHRA
talking
museum was
about.
supposed to
Yeah.
merge with Peterson, and then that never happened. But yeah, what were we down in the basement for once?
Just to see to see a studio that they were allegedly setting up.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course that didn't happen.
And that didn't happen?
No.
Nope.
Wait, so it was for the most part, what you guys was a radio show, correct?
Yes.
And it was at the Peterson Museum,
Yes.
which
We
is an
started
awesome visual
off-
medium.
Oh, I know. And you can't do anything but just take pictures. And at the time,
Right.
when we were doing our show, Periscope wasn't around.
Yeah.
So literally, we would take pictures and just post them up on Facebook. And, hey, look where we are by the Batmobile.
Right.
Or the Back to the Future mobile or the DeLorean. Because we were with the Stars Cars area. So
Right.
that was kind of neat.
Which is cool.
But no, we started off on 97.1 in LA, and then we started to expand the show nationally, and just kind of separately we moved from 97.1 when they stopped their all talk format and went to ESPN radio in LA for 5-6 years. Something
We
like
went 97.1 for a couple of years, ESPN for a couple of years, back to 97.1, and then when 97.1 went under, we needed a studio.
Right.
And
that's how we
Peterson
got
Automotive Museum had a studio. Bam,
Right.
we were there for 4 years.
And this is like pre-wind tunnel. I mean, there wasn't really any big national.
Oh, this is during Wind Tunnel.
Oh, same
yeah.
thing.
Well, no,
Same
we
era. Okay.
started before Wind Tunnel.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
there
we
at the time wasn't like some big national all-covering motorsports talk.
Right.
that
Well, I think we
existed.
started 2 years prior to Wind Tunnel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And were we
Something
on
along
speed before Wind Tunnel?
No. But when we ventured into TV was 03, 04, and Wind Tunnel had been on at least a year by then.
Yeah, where they basically taped our radio show and synchronized it up to just 30 minutes of a 2-hour show.
Right.
But that was,
Yeah, but we put Wind Tunnel to shame.
yeah.
Not going there. Not touching that.
Hey, well, what made us different, what continues to make us different, is you can get your stats and bats on any freaking cell phone, on any computer back in those days.
Right.
You could get whatever you wanted in an article and be done with your research. What we did and what Kenny was huge about promoting was we bring out the personalities of the guys that we interview.
Sure.
So, hey, you know what they did in the race. Let's find out why, or let's find out specifically what was going on when
Well,
two guys were
Eversley can
side by
answer to
side.
that.
Absolutely.
I was
He's
asleep for
been
most of
huge
that
with
stuff.
it. Oh. What, behind the wheel,
Good
huh?
sleepwalker.
Yeah, that's all I do. I've been driving for like 5 days straight now.
To your credit now, it's not that I've been sitting in the passenger seat sleeping, but you
guy's-
have literally driven the whole distance.
He's been like
so far.
cracking beers,
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
like,
I'm drunk
calling
right now.
girls the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
You do that in
So
Texas.
That is true. Well, and
we were wondering about that actually. Remember the drinking?
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
open
'cause you
container.
get
Against the law, we can
law.
still
Well,
do it.
we saw a bunch of drive-through liquor stores. But it's against the law. You can still do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Copy.
Got it?
Kenny, tell them about your stories that you've told on air of driving back from college. Your days in Texas.
Who
you're born
didn't
and
do
raised
that?
Texan.
Who didn't load up a 6-pack and make sure you're drunk by the time you got home?
Yeah. You got to
That's
like
what you
time
do.
it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
See.
Bag of Swisher Sweets and some Pearl Light, you're good to go.
Pearl Light.
Rural light.
What is that?
60,
I've never even heard of that.
68 calories.
Oh, well, sounds pretty good then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would drink that.
Or Schaefer Light, 99 cents a 6. Yeah.
Can we seriously pull back the curtain, though? You are older than everyone else at this table, so this was in the early 80s.
So what does that mean, Crash?
That's when the good stuff existed, though.
What the hell does
Just
that
saying,
mean?
in case somebody is
You think
is
people
asking,
still
"What's
don't
Pearl
pop a
Light?"
freaking 6-pack in their
No.
giddy up and don't drink and drive? It
I was
happens
going
all the
branding
time.
with that. What
Do
the
you-
hell's a Pearl Light?
Do you guys need us to leave for a few minutes?
Mommy and Daddy are fighting.
We'll just go. I gotta go check out something in the car. Sean, you want to come with
Yeah,
me?
no,
We've
I'm
only
good.
been doing
Let's,
this for 15
This
years.
is what we do on air, too.
That's part of why people pay us a whole lot of good money just so we can argue on air.
How long have you guys known each other?
Over 15 years.
That's it? Just over 15? You don't want to
Yeah.
go any farther than that?
We
So
could go
16 years,
specific.
15 and a half?
Let's see, I was on my way. I moved out to Los Angeles to pursue acting, as I used radio air quotes there.
Do people do that?
Right?
Okay. Okay.
No casting couch involved here. But I was on my way back to, no, as I'm getting to that, I was on my way back to the Indy 500.
That's why she didn't make it.
It was exactly. Well, I made this, though.
There you go.
And then that, and then that. Okay. But no, I was on my way back to the Indy 500 May 2009? No, excuse me, 1999? No, May 2000.
2000.
May 2000. And because I was done, I got a couple commercials, yay, but nothing big, so I wanted to get back into motorsports.
Sure.
However, I stopped by my agent's office on my way to the airport, and she was such a great agent that she said, "Oh, look through the breakdowns. I haven't had a chance to look through them today. See if anything fits you." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, wonderful.
Thanks.
I'm doing your
Exactly.
job."
Thanks for
Well,
helping.
it's-
Awesome.
It's hard to understand for like a struggling actor when they get an agent. That those are usually agents who have literally 1,500 clients at
Yeah.
once,
Oh,
and
wow.
so they just have like these casting breakdowns. Like, okay, blonde 5'6". Okay, this
And
is
they don't
my
know you
blonde 5'6"
personally.
category.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway,
But yeah,
go.
I did. I
but
flipped
our
through.
breakdown was you can narrow it down. You got looks good,
Yep.
sounds good. There's millions of those,
Sure.
but knows her about motorsports. Whoops,
Yep.
that eliminates about 95% of them.
Sure.
But when I was flipping through, I'm like, hold on a second. I want to do this. So, yeah, I
Oh.
submitted myself basically for this job of Speed Freaks.
So you
and
literally met on a casting call.
yes.
So the casting couch
like I
did
said,
work.
no, I had a boyfriend. He had a girlfriend.
It's
talking
actually
about
like a
Kenny.
casting pool.
It
was
was
that
a
the first
casting
place?
pool. I did meet you at your little bachelor pad with
Right.
the pool. Yeah.
Nice. Let's talk about the bachelor pad.
Oh,
I bet that thing was
seriously.
pretty good.
And this is when the late 80s.
What about no?
No.
This is
Yeah, we've been doing the show for 40 years, Sean.
May of 2000.
The glory days.
Yep. Just throwing it out
Tell me
there.
about 2000. What was that like?
No, but before we get to your hooch and chew parties at your bachelor pad,
Whoa.
Why are we
whoa.
going there?
because
What's-
he wants
Yeah.
Wait,
no.
hang
why
Ryan
aren't
wants
we
to
going
know
there?
about the bachelor.
I just
pad.
want to hear what that quote was again. The what?
hooch and chew.
Hooch and chew.
Okay. I'm not familiar with that term.
You know what hooch is?
I-
Drink,
Yeah.
chew,
Okay.
food.
All right. Just making sure.
All right.
Okay. Making sure.
Hooch
I'm
and
gonna start using
chew.
that.
But getting down to the final four, the final five candidates for Crash Gladys.
Six.
Who else? Okay,
There were
final
200,
six.
200
You guys were laughing at
resumes, and of her, there was one that kind of stood out. On her resume, there was a little Post-it note saying she could learn motorsports.
Oh.
on the specific woman, and that specific woman was who?
Do it.
You want to do it?
No,
Do
go
it.
for
Well, now hold on a second. Let's go back just a second. Was it
She
was it
didn't
was
get
it
it. I got
was
it.
it years after that when I went back and looked at the?
It was about 6 or 7 years later, and somehow you just came across the old file of who you interviewed for Speed Freaks and all the different ideas you had for the show, and you pulled out this headshot and go, oh my God, look who was a candidate for Crash Gladys.
Desperate Housewives.
Okay.
Wow.
Keep going.
Yeah, you lost me at Desperate Housewives.
Heard of it. Heard of it.
I can name like.
was married to a spur. You guys just came from Texas.
Oh, Desperate. I was thinking. Okay. Eva Longoria.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
She can learn motorsports.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
That is impressive.
All right.
She went on to be a Desperate Housewife. I went on to be Crash
So you
Gladys
could
and
you could
marry
be
Kenny.
you could be sitting across from Eva Longoria.
No,
right now.
you guys
Yeah.
would have turned us down.
Yeah.
Like, nope. Nope. Which we're still surprised you didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, whatever.
We tried.
When I see anything with the name Ryan Eversley attached, I'm like, in.
Lies.
No, totally not lies.
The joke has been
It's-
that although this is definitely Sean and I's idea from like 3 years ago, it's gonna
it's
turn
not.
it's gonna turn into the Ryan Eversley podcast that Sean helps out on.
Yep.
Even
Yep.
though
His
Sean's
assistant,
doing
Sean.
doing all the legwork. He's got to do all the hard stuff. But he'll like no matter
No,
what.
but that's built in history, though, and I don't mind putting this out
Yeah,
there. So, like, Magnus Racing and the IMSA series does this whole pit side webcast for all 24 hours of the Rolex 24.
It's brilliant.
And, Magnus has been doing it every year since 2012, and I've been doing that even a few years before that. And it's become its own little niche thing. You know, like sports car fans seem to really, really like it. Ryan has made appearances in nearly every one of them, but he hosted in 2013.
two of them, I think.
It was really 2013 was when you kind of did the whole thing with me.
Okay.
The whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing. Absolutely.
For some reason, I feel like
because you've been on you went.
well, I feel like we did it twice now, where I hosted
Well,
or
you've-
co-hosted. Sorry.
Indy. You went to Indy.
That's right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
we
yeah.
did Indy. Okay, I knew there was
But
another one.
so of the 5 years we've been doing it, Ryan was a host on one of them, and to this day I still hear about how awesome the Ryan Eversley webcast is, presented by Magnus Racing.
Right.
All right. Yeah. Cool.
So thanks for coming to my podcast,
Yep.
guys. I really
Awesome.
appreciate it. Sean's here too.
Is he your assistant?
That's fine. I accept my place. I
You
accept
can't
my
not
place.
tell that story.
Oh, okay.
You're-
And
you're-
then I have an assistant. So I have this is actually true. So I have a production company, and I have a business partner, Jason. He's not a huge racing fan.
Shame on him.
So he doesn't really put himself out there when the track. He's just like whatever gets us to the hotel quicker. And have you guys ever met RJ Valentine? He's kind of out of the scene now.
I have
He was an
yes.
awesome dude in the Trans Am series. When Jason and I would go to it, RJ's got this like thick South Boston accent, and whenever we go to a shoot, RJ would be like, "This is Sean. He's a Hollywood producer, and his assistant Jason." It's like we're pretty much equal partners in this whole thing, but yeah.
So now Sean's my assistant, and
Yeah.
my
Got
assistant
it,
has an
got
assistant.
it.
Assistant's
So
assistant,
you guys are
Jason.
up to speed now.
Yeah.
That's pretty much been our constant back and forth joke for 5 days.
Yep. But it's
So-
out. It's out there now.
Right. It's on
So.
it's on the interwaves. Is that what they call it?
Well, I will say this though: you did put yourself, Sean, next to kind of the important gear,
Oh, I touched
as
it.
if you are producer man, and Ryan has himself out in the very front of the table,
With
so
food.
as to with food exactly, so as to be the front man.
Right.
So it's just switch
Oh, no,
seats
no,
and
no,
you'll
we-
be
No,
fine.
this
Our- no,
isn't
our roles
actually what
fit.
this is. I can outrun Sean, and so I'm basically stopping you guys from leaving.
Ah,
That's
actually
what this
true.
is.
That's how
I'm
it works.
keeping you in the booth.
Well, and the other thing is, like, Ryan is a way better frontman than me because I am 36. I'm not a 16-year-old girl. I go on Twitter like once a week, and this
Good,
dude,
thank you.
this dude is ridiculous. So, are you guys on
Dude.
Twitter much?
Oh, absolutely.
Ah, see,
you
I'm
need
old.
to be on Twitter.
I'm old.
You're younger than me.
Nah,
you
I'm
just
old,
need
but
to be
no.
on Twitter more. Actually,
Anyway.
Instascribe.
She
You
told
need to
you.
be on Instagram too.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Photos.
Yeah, fair enough. You would do a
things.
photo once every month. if
I
you were.
would. I'd be an awful dude.
Just for the record, I hate eating on mics, but I'm hungry as hell.
Oh, no, do
No,
it.
this is
That's
the
the
whole
whole point.
point. That's
Lally literally spoke with his mouth full.
Yeah.
Like, so then when I was racing NASCAR, I was thinking, this car, whoa.
Good radio.
That's
Oh,
what he was
crap.
doing. So
I literally
So-
just dropped everything. on
So,
my-
Kenny, Speed Freaks was kind of your thing.
Mhm.
And to the point that you literally had a casting call to sort of build it into was it like a radio talk show? That was what you were after, or this was for the Speed Channel that you started doing that?
No,
for
it's
casting
for
calls?
my background is radio. I started in mid '80s, right out of college,
Right.
and had been in Los Angeles.
I think the burrito hitting the mic might be a little extreme,
Yeah.
but
Sorry.
that's all right.
it's got
I'd been in Los Angeles since '90, and I'd done a lot of TV work and some other gigs, and some radio work as well. But when I was prior to Speed Freaks, I was sports anchor and entertainment reporter for UPN News 13 in LA. When that job, when they didn't renew my contract, I thought, you know what, I better get something going on.
Yeah.
Landed a gig doing a animal show on Animal Planet called the Zig and Zag Alpha Dog Challenge.
I have to find this.
Yes.
I'm
Oh.
sold
It
already.
is legendous.
Yes, you do. It's
Okay.
still
Yep.
on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
So one more
Well,
time,
it-
the Zig and Zag
Zig
Alpha
and
Dog
Zag
Challenge.
Alpha Dog Challenge. And what that afforded me to take some time off and explore other things. And I came up with
No,
this
stop
idea.
there.
Uh-huh.
Tell me about the Zig and Zag Alpha Dog Challenge.
It's Olympics for dogs.
Yes, it really was.
okay.
And what year was this?
This was 99.
Oh,
99.
okay. I was hoping it was like the 1992 like outfits with the dogs and everything all neon.
No.
Okay. All right. Oh, sorry. Proceed.
It's like a complete mock of the Olympics.
yeah,
Is that what you're getting at?
exactly.
Right.
But with like neon and
No.
like early 90s hair crimping.
And dogs.
Yeah, and dogs.
No, they did color my hair like 17 different colors of brown, red, blonde for the show. We shot it down in Orlando in one of their studios there. So that afforded me time to explore other opportunities.
Now, is that something when you're doing it, you're like, I got to get out of here?
No,
or,
shit,
or at the
no,
time,
man.
were you thinking,
No,
like,
I
this is
dug
great?
it. Greatness. No, it was greatness, man. I enjoy wacky things like that. Working with dogs, man. Come on.
Let's be honest, you had a hot co-host too, right?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a co-host.
Man,
I'll leave it
I'm
at
not
that.
gonna. I'm
Oh,
not
you
gonna let
didn't
this
think she was
go.
hot? I thought she was hot. From if
Okay,
I'm
good.
remembering.
I think he has to say that
Yeah.
while you're here.
You are here.
She wasn't. I mean, you know her. Chick is like infomercial queen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah?
What's her damn name?
So, Crash, you haven't let up on Kenny once since we got here. I mean, you've just been busting his balls nonstop. Is this day to day, like even when the mics are off?
No.
No,
She's nodding yes. He's no.
no. When the
Absolutely
mics
not.
are off, no. That he is right on the no there, because we're both busy chasing around a 21-month-old.
Right, Henley.
Little
Ah,
tough,
okay.
Henley. Yes.
So that was one of my questions. I want to know where the name came from. Family name or?
Well, truth be told, we moved to the Phoenix area 2 years ago. I'm preggers. It's freaking 120 degrees.
Had to stop drinking.
Right? It was horrible. So we go into this air-conditioned movie theater and decide to go pick up a movie. The movie Now You See Me, and it was.
Right.
Did you see it?
What do you do? Why you describe? We went to this air-conditioned theater. We had to pick up a movie. We didn't pick up a movie. We saw the damn movie.
Right.
You just said we picked up a movie.
Oh, well,
We're gonna take off. You guys can settle this. We'll be right back.
okay, well, my terminology wasn't correct. We picked up a movie. I was trying to be kind of hip and say, yeah, we sat down, picked up a movie, yo.
We took in a film.
We took in a film.
Yeah.
It was a talkie.
The cinema.
We went to the theater.
How long are your podcasts typically?
About 4 hours.
This one's gonna be the shortest.
Yeah, right.
No, that's my point. I just remember it's a podcast, Crash, not a
Oh, wow.
goddamn documentary on the sky.
So he's giving it back a little bit now.
Anyway,
Yeah.
finally,
Okay,
right?
yeah, good,
Finally.
good.
Real teeth.
He needed a little food in him. You know, get the blood sugar going.
So we saw the movie, Now You See Me. Anyway, it's about escape artists, magicians, whatever. The chick escape artist, magician in the movie at the beginning introduces herself. Hi, my name's Henley. And Kenny and I look at each other and go, huh, that's
Cool
kind
name.
of a cool name.
Cool name,
So no fun family story.
Well, but
or
she didn't know it
anything
was
legendary.
that she was carrying a
that's
girl.
right. Because I wanted to be surprised. That's right.
Well, lost the bet.
Yeah. We were hoping it was
Oh.
gonna be like Don Henley tribute.
Oh,
You know,
I know.
Boys of Summer or something.
Well, I love the Eagles, so yes, that kind of nice. It fits. Of course, my family goes, "Oh, isn't that a kind of shirt? Can't you wear a Henley shirt?" I'm like, "Okay, that's just stupid."
nobody knows what that is.
Nope.
Right.
Named after Isla Fisher.
At least it's not like Moondrop or
That's
something
her
like
name.
that. So
Yes,
Isla
that's her
Fisher.
name.
Yes.
Okay.
It
Okay.
helps having a computer right in front of you.
No, I know these
Oh,
things.
bullshit. You looked it up. You looked it up.
She's a little cutie.
that's excellent.
As it
She's
turns
a-
out, Henley in the books that we read or looked at, that little baby store place, Henley means social butterfly, and oh, she is.
Is she really?
takes
At
after that,
21
yeah.
months.
She ain't
All right.
afraid.
She's doing a fashion runway show this coming Saturday.
So I'm guessing she takes after her mom then in this deal.
Does she have an agent?
she does.
She's doing it on her own. She's like, I'm busy this weekend, guys.
But she's
My
in a file
Saturdays."
full of 1,500 other babies.
I would say at home, we spend so much energy on our shows. The daily show is all stick and ball sports. The weekend show is motorsports. That when he and I are home, no, we don't argue because we're sitting there either paying attention to Henley or, which she freaking makes us laugh all the time, or zoned out on TV. House of Cards is what we're trying to use now. Is our what?
That's
what are you
that's
looking
good
at me for?
baby
I love House of
programming.
Cards. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
What are you shaking your head for?
It's. I don't know where you're going with this, man.
Well, I mean,
He
if,
asked way long time ago. Ryan
Right.
asked, "Do you guys fight like this at home?" And I said, "No, it's just on air."
it's more relevant than Sean's story about mouth sores, so we'll allow it.
Yeah, gross.
You have an affinity for mouse sores, Sean?
No, you know what you know.
And we're back on
You
all sorts.
know what you know. Birds of a feather, you know.
Oh my God.
I know a few sports car drivers that
Sean does too.
probably share some of those mouse sore stories.
So many places we're not. taking
Yeah.
We've probably already interviewed a couple of them.
this. Exactly. Oh no, I don't want to say one.
Yeah, let's move along.
Yeah.
So
It's amazing why some have beards, not you.
go on.
Um,
So Henley, was that something you guys are planning for, or is that kind of a surprise? Like, we'll see what happens.
It was a mouthful of food.
We were not planning for it.
Yeah.
How about it?
Yeah. Okay.
That's
And
probably
nor
the
were
best
we
way.
It's just
not planning for that to happen
Oh.
the month prior to us moving to Phoenix, where it's
Right.
120 degrees, starting a new radio show.
always a good time,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a dry heat.
Right.
Yeah, but new home, relocation to a new state, new baby,
New job.
new job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like good, really good timing on our
Let's
part.
get it all in.
so basically, you guys have a daily show here in Phoenix that I assume is more of like a Phoenix sports kind of thing, and then Sunday night you still keep.
It's Phoenix
going.
influenced for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the radio? Is it just all day sports, or is there
Fox
music
Sports
at all?
910.
Oh, okay, copy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So-
Suns, D-backs, Cardinals, Coyotes, and then our freak flair. Uh-oh.
Speaking of Coyotes,
Yeah. So did you know?
true
The
story.
more you
If-
know.
That's what this is. That's what this
If
is.
you have a problem with invading coyotes, there are those in Ovalo, Texas, who believe the trick to keeping coyotes out of your yard is to behead other coyotes and hang them out your fence.
Or
What?
on the fence from their ankles.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like scarecrows for. Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
We didn't know this.
So when we got lost on the way to Jeff Brown's house, we literally made well, we didn't make the turn it wanted us to make because it told us on the phone like a driveway, which was about 50 feet past the actual road. So we're like, it can't be that one. Maybe it's the next one. So we just kept going, and that's where we see 4 in a row coyotes hung by their ankles, heads removed, just
really
rotting
creepy.
carcasses.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, so not only are we lost,
But
we know we're an hour from anything.
I didn't
And
know
you see dead
that you
animals.
removed the head. I knew that you
Oh,
hung
yeah.
them by the.
No.
So here's how dumb we are. We're like I'm like, we have to get
Holy
video of
crap.
this or something. So,
What was
I
that?
had a blowout.
God dang!
It's called salsa on the shirt.
Wow. Did I just feel like I ate 14 pounds of butter there? Holy smokes!
Yeah, it was
Good,
pretty
though.
rich. But okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, so we're okay. We clearly have to document this because we're both
one
a
will
little
believe it.
scared, but also a little, blown away. So we get out and we're looking at it, and nothing about it said coyote to me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I never see coyotes in the South. Like it's not
True.
a regular thing. But and then what's worse is what I did come to the conclusion that it was. I've never seen in my life once. But I turned to Sean. I'm like, are those jackrabbits? They're 4 feet long. And he's like, yeah, I guess they could be. And I'm like, those are jackrabbits, man. The jackrabbits around here are huge. Like, we got to get out of here. Some dude somewhere is.
You see any jackalopes?
No, didn't see any jackalopes or snipe for that
There you
matter.
go. Hey.
But so we finally get to Jeff Brown's house and we tell him about it. He's like, oh yeah, they think that if you cut the heads off and hang them by their ankles, we're just like, we got to get out of here now, now. Yeah,
Horrible.
yeah. So that's something now you know about coyotes.
Yeah, and walking in here, knowing that we're going to have lunch with you guys, we talk about mouth sores and dead decapitated coyotes.
Yeah, well-
Awesome lunch
Yeah,
conversation.
welcome to Dinner with Racers.
yeah,
Exactly.
This is how Sean and I saw it exactly in our heads.
yeah.
Yeah. People keep trying to talk to us about racing. We're like, everybody knows you race. Get over it. Like, back to good stuff. you know?
That's actually kind of exactly where Kenny was going with the formation of Speed Freaks back in 2000. Yeah, we know your race. We know where to get the results from. Let's get to this kind of fun
Right.
fodder to get to know who you're really talking to. Who do you really cheer for on the track?
Sure.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
we actually asked this question of Andy, and we're going to ask you the same version for your particular job in the sport. But Andy, I said, hey, and this came off the cuff, like I was actually joking, and I said, if you could punch one driver in the face, who would it be? And he was like, oh, okay, easy, Gustavo Jacquemin, or and we're like, oh,
He just like he had a written list already.
yeah.
You know?
He was like, oh, cool, unrolls the names. So
Ralph Schumacher.
not is that who you'd go
Yeah.
after? Go after
Oh, yeah.
half Schumacher,
Uh-huh.
right?
Tell him why.
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Just a full-fledged, elongated prick.
Oh wow.
Well, okay.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly
Now-
what we're hoping.
Ooh, I'll
to
take
hear.
that orange.
I wish he wouldn't soften it up.
Right?
I actually did. When Formula One came to Indy, I think it was the second race with their agreement with Indy, we had lined up an interview with Ralph Schumacher, and it's just not easy to do to get to Formula One drivers. And I was there by myself, wasn't I? Yeah. Went through his handlers, talked to his handler, everything was good to go. Sitting there waiting to interview the bastard, and she comes in and says, sorry, he can't make it, he's tied up. I said, well, damn it. So I walk outside down Gasoline Alley, and you know how they have the setups there now to where there's a lot of windows. That F-Stone was sitting right there in the window looking at me kind of laughing like, because he pointed to me. I could see him. So he wasn't busy. He was just being a full-fledged, I own porn shops in Germany prick. So
Googling.
Oh, he does.
if,
Googling.
he
Does he
could,
really?
if there's any person on this planet could take a spear to the face, it would be Ralph Schumacher. Why his brother is suffering for his
Yeah.
ill wills.
Oh, right.
Very
Yeah.
sad. So
Ralph Schumacher can die.
we actually weren't going to say drivers. Say any other personalities that you guys compete with that you'd like to take a swing at. But yeah, no, that's better than I hoped.
Yeah,
for.
Ralph Schumacher's
So,
just
fair enough. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't think there's anybody I want to take a swing at. And I'm not saying that to be the girly girl, nicey nice one. I don't want to
Shirley
give.
Muldowney wanted to swing at her one
Oh,
time.
Shirley
Really?
Muldowney called me when
good.
I was doing top end announcing for the NHRA back in, was it 03? What year was her comeback tour? I think it was 03. And she and I got into it on mic, and she called me a Betty Boop bitch.
Oh.
And so I looked at her and I said, well, that's fine. Out with the old and in with the new. And I pointed to her when I said old and me when I said new. But fast forward a couple of months later at the NHRA season-ending banquet, I walked up to her. Of course, I was inebriated and said, I'm so sorry. I'd love to bury that, whatever. She put her arm around me and said, hey, it's all good. It's all good.
And
I'm
then
like, all right, cool.
you sucker punched her.
I wish. No, I was too drunk to do that.
So she's 75 years old.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I just looked it up.
Wow.
So you probably
Wow.
could have taken
And
her.
you're like 26?
Yeah.
Oh, no, at that time, no.
I'm saying
so it was
now.
03.
14?
I was probably 33 or what.
You could have. You had her. You had her.
You could have taken her.
No, but now I totally respect. I mean, obviously, I respected her then too. I just didn't like her attitude, and she was just not wanting me to do anything with her beloved series. And yeah, once we got to know each other, it was a whole different story. So that was cool.
Do you interact with a lot of females in racing, specifically
try
because
to.
you're the female?
I try to, yeah, because
presence?
I want them to know, or at least feel more comfortable about me. I'm not here to, because you get it with guys and girls in the media, like, ooh, I'm only here to be a part of your entourage, or ooh, I'm only here to cut you down. Like Danica Patrick got so much of that when she first came
Sure.
out, and so I'm just like, hey, I'm here to support you. Show me what you got on the track, and I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader because I do feel like you don't have a lot of people cheering for you. I mean, Erica Enders, for Christ's sakes, that woman is the defending champion right now,
She's a
and
badass.
she can't get a damn major sponsor.
Yeah.
What is? Sorry, I'm getting all upset here. What is wrong
Flipping
with this
tables?
story?
It's like our fourth F-bomb.
What is wrong though? I mean, she should be massively
Right.
sponsored right now. She speaks well. She looks good. She drives like a maniac, which I mean in the full compliment, and yet she can't get a full-time sponsorship. It's bullshit. It's
Yeah.
absolute bull. There's a lot of that stuff in motorsports that I hate. I was a fan of Leilani, still am, Leilani Munther, and I feel like she was never given the opportunity that she should have been given. So yeah, that stuff drives me nuts. Uh-oh, you have a funny face.
Is that the
No.
Arca? Is that the Arca driver?
Yeah.
She was for a
I'm
little
going to keep my opinions to myself.
I'm not. I don't think
okay.
she's that good.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think she's that good.
Okay, I'm going to not keep my opinions to No, I would,
Okay.
I would
I
bet.
mean,
No, that's totally fine.
Sarge was totally open about Ralph Schumacher.
That's
so,
true,
I mean,
that's
I don't
true.
dislike her.
I am sure
That's
she's
Ralph. but I,
You wouldn't sucker punch her.
yeah, no, but I just never
You-
thought I think she's a nice person. and
You
she-
deserve an opportunity when you get results.
Yeah,
Got it.
fair enough.
Not
But
true for
Erica
anybody.
Enders is a
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah.
She should be getting
All right.
everything thrown at her. That's crazy.
I mean, she even has on her resume a Disney movie that she could say, hey, look what I can do if you give me a shot.
Right.
There's some guys out there that I feel don't get fair shots at whether it's
Who
an
would you like to
opportunity
punch?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Are we back to the punch thing?
Get to the point. Get back to the point.
What's a Ranger score?
So checked out. It's awesome.
I know, right?
New co-host.
I swear to. I don't know who.
Can we just say you're our co-host
You're
for the rest of
there
them?
you
Like,
go.
and Kenny's over here on the phone.
Yeah.
Kenny's listening back
End
to
of
me.
the fifth. Rangers are still up 2-1.
Kenny's in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what happened to Lugnuts?
Huh.
Is he gone?
He's gone. Yes.
Oh.
As of
Yes.
January 2008, yeah.
Is it cancer? Or?
Like
Oh, God,
yeah,
no. No,
car
no, no.
accident.
No. But that is part of his history. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
Well, look
Wow.
at
No,
me.
he-
I'm on a
But
roll
no,
today.
that's not.
We
that's not
suspended
what-
him,
Okay.
and his comeback was to quit.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We that was supposed to be a joke.
Well, that would turn
he's
around.
not. He's on the website.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just looking up.
Yeah. There's a whole Speed Freaks website. This was
Yeah, we looked
how
it
we
up.
did part of our. We do our research.
Are you
Well,
on an old website?
Oh.
Oh, maybe because
Maybe.
there was like a Lugnuts
Yeah.
bio, and you're like, oh,
We-
let's check
Wait,
it
show
out.
me, show me,
I
show
gotta find. This is
Okay.
like days ago, so I gotta.
We
look
Yeah, it had
spend
to
at
be- it had to be
least. I mean, we're very diligent. We spend at least 10 minutes looking up the people that we're about to interview. So yeah, we went on the Speed Freaks website.
That's all you need,
The,
man.
He is nowhere on the site now.
no, it's pretty.
Oh,
your
you know
website's
what?
pretty amazing.
No, you're right. He's not.
is it
It's
old?
Triple F. That's who we're gonna ask.
Oh.
About. Is that a
Yeah, yeah,
producer or
yeah.
something?
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That's
Okay.
a producer.
But then you asked. You were like, "Isn't
'Cause
one
I
of them named
wasn't-
Lugnut?"
yeah.
And
Got
I was
it,
like, "Yeah,
got
but I
it.
don't even think I've ever met him."
Well, that's part of my larger thing. Is so.
Is this a sore subject? Because we don't.
No,
care.
absolutely not.
It was just a joke.
He was absolutely hysterical. I thought he worked wonders for our show, but you don't mix alcohol in company vehicles.
Yeah, I
Oh.
think that's a pretty standard
Okay.
rule
Yeah.
across the board.
And you
Yeah.
also need to show up on time.
Well,
That
okay,
is not true.
I'll argue on that one, but the
You're from Hollywood. You should know.
No.
that.
When you don't show up on time with
On the
alcohol in
air.
your breath
Yeah, yeah.
in a company vehicle.
He was
Oh,
part of the
so-
original.
So, it was like a
All tied
tie-in.
together.
So
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
showing up late, drunk, in your company car.
Okay.
Okay, I kind of like this guy. Like, I mean, I want to interview him at least. You know what I mean? Like, so what did you do today, for example? He's like, well, I hit the bar. Then I got breakfast. Then I went to work.
Yeah. Oh. Ooh.
Okay. Well,
But
I
we
got
started-
Statman and Crash are two of the originals.
And this is Statman McGillicuddy?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. Crash, even know
It's where it comes. Where his name comes from,
it's
right?
not.
Oh, Scatman is where his name comes
Comes from Scatman Carruthers.
That's right.
Sure.
Oh, Carruthers. That's it.
Carruthers.
Yeah,
Okay.
not McGillicuddy.
Skeetman Carruthers.
Yeah.
Okay, but so this is part of my bigger question. I should be a branding guy, but I'm terrible at it. Y'all have nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't have a nickname. She's got a nickname.
So Sargent, your last name?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, it really
okay.
is?
I thought it was
Okay.
like
Yeah, we
Crash,
thought it was
Crash
like
Gladys.
Yeah,
Kenny
Crash Gladys,
Sargent.
Kenny
No,
Sargent.
Statman and Crash Gladys and then Lugnuts were the three that I devised as characters.
May he rest in peace.
As
Like
Kenny goes, I have my real name. What are you doing?
What was that?
So
You
for
just
those
literally almost
listening,
kicked me.
for those listening at home, Kenny just lifted up his shin.
No,
to reveal
there's
he's
we had
bleeding.
an attack of mosquitoes on my ankles a while back, and I just freaking yanked a few off in my fingernails.
Can you just do the interview? I mean, can we just have the interview?
Like cold sores and now
No.
sores on my.
peeling
You got sores on your ankles.
What happened to you, man? Are you okay?
God.
So the medics are just getting here.
There was a band in Hollywood called Smash Gladys in the mid '80s,
Oh,
Okay.
and the original female character
You
for the
remember
show was
the
going
80s,
to be
right?
called
Yeah, I was born in
Smashed Gladys. And I thought it'd be cool to get a lawsuit, but before we went live with the show, I just turned the name into Crash Gladys.
Okay.
And Statman is literally, that's his name, because you know Statman,
Yeah.
a.k.a. Bill Wood. The
Yeah, we
dude
know him
knows
very well.
so much about
Right.
motorsports. And
Right.
my line was always, he could tell you what color underwear Richard Petty was wearing in '73 when he won Daytona 500, because his brain just goes so deep. So hence, that's Statman. Lugnuts was Lugnuts. He was just nutty. He was just a nutty dude.
Right.
Provided the irreverency that we needed. So those are the names I came up with, registered, and
And that's all there is.
that's it, man.
Okay.
Yeah, our constant back and forth the last few days has been repetitive stupidity. And one of the jokes was like, rest in peace, Lugnuts. He's just gone. Nobody knows what happened to him.
Yeah.
He's in the crater.
R.I.P. Lug.
Oh. You'll find him at Irwindale Speedway
So
on Saturday night.
if we were ever hosts on, could we have nicknames?
Uh-huh.
If we were ever
Yeah,
on?
what would be where's the?
You know what?
Well,
It kind of has to be organic,
Who
though.
gave Lugnuts? Was it because he's nutty? That's it. You just
No,
that
it was
a
just
quick
the
one?
character's name.
Okay.
Because Kenny, do you have all say in somebody's nickname? Do they get any influence? Or you're like, this is
It's like
Your
you
name
wanna
is
be on this
Loctite.
Show. Well, this is the name you're going to have.
okay? So yeah,
So
15
it's
years
almost
ago.
like his thing. He's like, oh, I'm gonna enjoy this. All
Yeah,
right. Yeah, Stinky McGee's here today. Like, what? My name's Rick.
Didn't we? Chris Jacobs joined us for about a
We
year,
tried to
and
give
we
him a
gave him
nickname.
we gave him a nickname of Throttle.
Oh, yeah, Throttle
All right.
Jacobs. Yeah. Well, it's just Throttle. It's just Throttle. That's right. That's
like
right.
that.
Chris Jacobs was a co-host with us for a year. I forgot about Yeah, he talk about a car knowledge guy. Woo. Yeah.
So what would you be, Sean? What was your
I'll
nickname?
eat my sandwich.
Right. That's why I wanted to
That's
ask
it.
you.
That's the name.
Yeah.
Feature fucking face. That's his
I'm
nickname.
thinking.
Sandwich Heckman over here.
I'm thinking dry sump.
Dry sump. Okay.
Oh,
All right.
That's kind of
What would
sexual,
you be,
too, I
Ryan?
like it.
Hubcap.
Hubcap?
Hubcap.
Maybe
Yeah, you guys
Loctite.
are weak.
That's how you
What are you trying to-
Loctite. Yeah.
Ah,
yeah.
see, okay.
I'd
There we
be.
go.
You guys want any dessert? More drinks?
I will do another Arnie.
Actually, I will do an
That's
Arnie as well.
Oh, snap.
You know?
Blow it
Yeah.
up. You didn't blow it up.
I'm terrible.
The
Don't
fact,
be
that he,
hubcap
the fact that he
because-
got knuckles.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
a
just
big
be
step
happy.
for us. We're
Now
really
you're up
excited
for
about that.
You guys are rolling on Continental tires, aren't you?
We are rolling on Continental tires all the
Okay.
way to from Atlanta to California to Chicago to Atlanta again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's the point of all of this. Is it's basically to see the durability of your rubbers.
No. It's basically who can we convince to let Sean and I be idiots for a
Yep.
month.
And they got the job.
They were like, that sounds terrible. Let's do it. Yeah. I think
No,
they're
it's
just
pretty
looking
cool,
to see how we devolve over the course of the show. Like Sherry's going to, afterwards, be like, okay,
That was great.
how'd it go? And we're like, I'm never doing that again. She's like, yes.
And she hasn't heard anything we've done so
Oh,
far.
nothing.
She hasn't.
And we're like
Nothing.
terrified.
Right.
of-
I keep wanting to turn this around. It's difficult.
Yeah, don't do it.
It is.
Don't
I know.
do it.
Isn't
Well,
it funny?
So
I'm like,
one of the guys we interviewed, Bob Varsha,
okay.
he's an Atlanta guy, so it was really easy to get
Got
him
it.
together. And our first thought was we're going to sit down and he's going to be like, so tell me about the race. And we'll be like,
Exactly.
I know it's tough to not be that guy for a change.
Well, so we'll talk about you.
fine. We get it.
So That was actually one of my because we literally didn't figure out the fact you guys had a daily sports talk show until like 10 minutes ago. And you know what? But I'm
Which
serious.
is why
Welcome
you're not
you
going to
in
get a
Phoenix.
4-hour podcast out of us because we've got to go prep for it.
Right. Okay, so what's your name again?
Well, no, but that is one of my big questions. Is you know the world of motorsports. Now you guys are very all encompassing what you cover, but the world of motorsports, in my opinion, especially from a media standpoint, is hard and getting harder to make a living in. So how has Speed Freaks maintained or survived? I guess because to me the ability to get advertisers to be able to keep a sustainable income to keep something like that going has to be hard.
Relationships, initial relationships. It started with Lucas Oil was our first big partner to come in. It wasn't a whole lot of money initially, but when we expanded into television, and then all of a sudden Lucas Oil creates Lucas Oil Television Productions, and then bam, we're their first TV host. It's just relationships initially with Lucas Oil. That's blossomed to where there's so many different facets that we're involved with Lucas and that they're involved with us. Lucas is a major player on our daily sports show with Speed Freaks television. We're tied in with the Lucas Oil production company. Continental Tires it actually started with Tires, where Travis Roffler was with Tires at the time, and Greg Vandermark when I think I approached them at SEMA maybe like 2001 or 2002, and bam, they're on board. And then Travis goes to
We hosted a Toyo symposium at SEMA in
Oh,
2002.
sport compact drag racing.
Yep.
It's going to last forever.
We're gonna bleep out
Yeah.
over and over again,
Oh,
but
you
the
can-
rest
you
of it's
can.
good. Yeah.
Sure, it's fine.
You can just say, "Oh yo."
We just think it'd be hilarious.
Or just reverse it. Yo?
Yeah.
Just
Oh yo.
so when Travis went to Conti, he and I talked and said, "Man, why don't you come over here?" And it's been Continental Tire, General Tire for probably as long as he's been there,
Right.
and maybe that's 7-8 years.
I think it's about 7, 8. Yeah.
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And those are two of our big players. Lone Mart's been a big player of ours for the last 3 or 4 years.
We had Budweiser for years. That was really good, and it pretty much ended around the time InBev came in and bought the company. But Budweiser helped us a lot at the beginning. Wow, we did a lot with them. That was fun. Did a lot of pub crawls.
It wasn't just, hey, come on and buy some ad time.
You're bleeding. Sorry, I gotta. That mosquito bite that you.
It happens like every show.
We were it wasn't just, hey, come in and buy some spots. It was like, we can feature your drivers on our show that's sponsored by you, whether it's Lucas or Budweiser. Would you stop
You're
it?
I know, but
literally
it's-
licking his wounds.
Well, no, I'm licking the scabbiness of.
That's attractive.
This is,
I'm licking my thumb and then rubbing his leg.
That's a
what
sentence
I'm
that didn't exist until right now.
So
So,
it's being able to use our platform to put Lucas Oil, Continental Tires into platforms that would take more research and more time for those guys to do on their own.
Sure.
Continental Tire, Lucas Oil, again, they're both major players on our daily show.
And those are big companies. You know,
Yeah.
you're not promoting, Joe's Chicken Shack on.
Oh, they're
or-
out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Joe's brings us a lot of chicken every
But
now and then.
it's damn good chicken. But those are big players in the industry. You look at Lucas Oil, they're sponsoring Indy cars in their own series and off-road
Yeah.
trucks and things like that. Obviously, Continental has their own series. And Budweiser doesn't need much of an explanation. Those
Well,
are
I miss Budweiser's involvement in motorsports, though. I mean, sure, you still see a little bit with Kevin Harvick, but when we first started Speed Freaks, it was Miss Budweiser and hydroplane racing. It was Jeremy McGrath and Supercross with the Bud Light brand, and it was they had a car at the Indy 500.
Yeah.
It was everywhere,
Right.
and things have changed. It's kind of a shame.
well, but also
to get back to go right back to where you started that conversation was it's tough, very tough now to make a living in motorsports. In all, as you say, well, what about a guy like Jimmy Johnson? I'm just talking about in all facets outside of guys that.
well,
are
even
already
Jimmy
making a lot
Johnson
of-
has had to take pay cuts the last couple of years.
Everybody has in
know.
that series.
So.
But yes, it's much tougher than when we started 15 years ago.
Well, and similarly, I mean, there's obviously a million mediums they can promote now and whatnot, but you guys have a very specific brand. You try to be edgy. You try to sort of do something that's a little bit off the cuff.
Try.
And but you're dealing with national brands who have 7 layers of management, and all of them are usually a little bit shy to go too risque. So how do you balance that?
We've never, ever been told to tone it down by Lucas, Continental Tire, Lone Mart, Sony, Budweiser.
Oh, that's right. Sony was a player for a
Sony
while.
was a player for a while. They've never asked us to tone it down. Again, there's some language that we're using here that we can't use on radio, but we did use it on Sirius. We were the first motorsports show ever on Sirius, and we would do that. I think it was Saturday afternoon show, and that's what was difficult for me was on Sirius you could just unload.
Right.
And then on Sunday night I had to put on my
Turn
FCC
it off.
mouth.
Yeah.
Which Kanan Filters was a big player.
Oh,
for it.
duh.
Right.
Oh, I feel bad.
Which we use
missed them.
Kanan Filters to
Yeah.
filter our language many times. But
Wow.
Yeah.
hey,
But I will
That
say
He's
this.
also an ad man.
Exactly. I will say
Hey,
this. You know,
absolutely,
everybody
man.
has always termed us as being the edgy motorsports show. But if you really sit down and listen to even some of our shows back in the day when we were edgier than we are now, it's nothing different than just sitting around at this table or at a bar and
Crasher,
talking.
no one was doing that. Speed Channel wasn't doing that.
That's
ESPN
true.
wasn't
That's
doing
true.
it. Fox
So
Sports
it was
wasn't doing
still
it.
different. Yeah.
No one was doing that. Again, you had to toe the company line if you were driving that car by Boston baked beans. You had to be the happy bastard. You might be out there, banging 18-year-olds, but when the camera's on you, you got to be that middle America guy with 2 kids and a white picket fence.
Right.
Keep going.
Yeah. Don't stop. Let's talk politics. So with
Oh, I thought
Trump,
he was talking about Michael Waltrip. Okay, anyway. Just saying.
No, continue.
Time code. You might want to.
There's no,
Edit break.
not time code. There's who I want to punch.
We're not
There's
big,
who I want to
but
sucker
you-
punch.
Wait, so
okay,
you would
but
punch
you don't need
Michael
to go in
Waltrip?
detail specifically. We're just not big Michael Waltrip fans.
Yep,
Okay,
not at all.
so
But I do have.
I have a story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go in. So we'll break here. So you have somebody you would punch.
Sucker punch, yeah, Michael Waltrip for sure. And it's because we had a rock and roll PR.
Crasher, listen.
I'm not going to go into the details. And if I do, I'll just say edit.
No,
We can
no,
edit
there
stuff.
are
Ryan-
certain things you just don't.
Okay, but it started with. I've never really been a fan of his, but it started with Speed Freaks. We bring a lot of rock and roll stars onto the show as well. Heck, we talked to
Alice
just a little
Cooper.
bit. Yeah, but
Hope
I
you didn't
forget
kiss.
who the star was, but I sure remember the PR person, and she was working with an agency.
don't need to bring
in
up her
LA.
name either.
I won't bring up her name, but I know. 'Cause
Thanks for giving us that kind of credibility that enough people will hear this.
There's going to be 20 people
she
listening.
came in. We did the interview with her.
One
star.
person has to hear it.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
then-
What we're
That's
hoping
true.
for.
And then Triple F is on the phone going, Kenny, you finally got sued. You finally got sued.
But
And
no.
I'm calling Sherry going, those mother
I'm
effers.
sorry. No. But no, so we did the interview. Everything was great. Of course, we're talking all the small talk after the show and all that. And she goes, so how much do you guys do in NASCAR? And I said, oh, a lot. We do quite a few races. We have their drivers on, as often as we can. She goes, do you ever do anything with Michael Waltrip? I'm like, ugh. Then we all start laughing. Yeah, he's probably our least favorite in there. The cheater you talking about, like the turbo fuel he was putting in, whatever, rocket fuel. And then she goes, well, I've just got a story. Anyway, she tells us a story about her time with him when she was
Crasher.
working for a sponsor.
Got it.
I'll just leave it at that.
Just leave it at that.
I'll leave it at that, but let's put it this way.
Crasher, no,
Dude was an
no.
a-hole.
Do not.
I am so happy right now.
Yep.
You made our week.
Do not.
Sorry. He's
Well,
just.
The audience,
We
our
listen,
parents, are really going to enjoy this story.
Oh, no.
Who's the opposite? Who's the guy who has a terrible reputation but is insanely nice?
Ooh, that's a great question.
That is a good question.
Tony Stewart.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard that. Yeah,
Definitely
a lot of
Tony
people.
Stewart.
You guys travel to many races?
Yes.
You do.
Yes, I
Like-
love the travel part. Actually, some people say they hate being on the road. I love being on the road. If I'm not in an airplane every 2 weeks, I'm like, "Ugh." Yeah, I love travel.
Most
I
of
know,
our travel
Ryan's
is
like, I
for
hate it.
television, though, Sean.
Okay.
With the Lucas Oil series that we cover, she covers PPL.
Okay.
Do you know what the hell that means?
No. I pretended so that it would be good radio, but I have no
Projected
clue.
penile lacing. She covers that.
Okay.
It's
so
called the
we're gonna
pro.
back
It's
up.
called the Pro Pulling League. Yes.
Wait,
truck
really?
And tractor
You're covering
pull.
tractor pulls?
I do. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
it's
it is
yeah.
greatness.
And I went into it in the year 2007, I think it was, that I first started, and I had the stupid stereotypes. This is just one of my many lessons for kids. Don't ever judge a book by its cover. I did it, and my very first event, I was like, holy crap, these people are amazing, and just they're like my second family now. I love
What
them.
are the cities that they do tractor pulls in?
Oh, yeah, well, Hillsboro, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Goshen, Indiana.
Sure.
Wheatland, Missouri.
Yeah.
I forget the town in New York that's just south of Buffalo. Evansville, Indiana. Franklin, Kentucky.
Just metropolises all
Yep.
over.
Absolutely.
All tourist destinations.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Just
you,
like,
yes.
Right, I've been
just
to
like
all
Midland,
of them.
Texas.
Right, Midland, Texas, home of the Petroleum Museum.
No, I love it. I love it. One of the guys, one of the crew guys, not even one of the drivers, supplies all the corn for Frito-Lay east of the Mississippi.
Oh,
Hello.
Okay.
Okay.
One of the drivers raises like 75% of the turkeys that eventually make it to Whole Foods for your dinner plates. I mean, it's amazing. And I never knew any of those stories until after about 5 years of being a part of it. I'm like, love you guys. You're salt of the earth human beings, loaded, but you never know it,
Right.
and just fun, genuine, cool people.
Is this the like used to be on the motorsports cavalcade kind of stuff where like it's the 12 engines on one tractor?
Oh,
and
I see.
they're-
Yes.
The big tractor. So this is it. This is like
This
the high
is the
level.
legit,
Is
yeah.
the ego thing there with the guys that drive that series? Like there are like people like
You
me,
would
you know, where you
think-
just can't get them in a room. Their head's too big.
You would
or,
think, but
or is
no.
it just no?
I will say when it comes down to the season finale or the last couple of races, I keep calling them races, they're polls. When it comes down to the last couple of events in the season, yeah, you might see a little bit of that, but no. There are so many times you're dealing with experimental motors and experimental setups
Sure.
that you have breakage all over the place, and everybody helps everybody. It's
That's
kind of
cool.
like IndyCar, NASCAR, sports cars really were back in the day. You still see it in sports cars, actually, but
Yeah.
you don't see it as much in IndyCar. You definitely don't see it in NASCAR.
Sure.
Where everybody's helping everybody, and they do it because they love it, and they do it because they want the sport to get better.
I will
Love
argue that only because
Oh, yeah?
it brings a cool story up for the NASCAR side.
Yeah.
A couple years ago at Eldora, they had the the heat races to get everybody into the main show, and
Yeah.
Norm Benning, who is like the starting park guy,
Yeah.
he has like a 4-man team, in the truck series. He never makes the races half the time. He beat out like a young kid who was in a decent truck to make the final spot, but to make it into the show, they're beating and banging the crap out of each other, and so he like comes across the line and beats the kid. Mind you, this is for like 5th in the 5th heat. You know what I mean? They're fighting for 34th on the grid. And he makes the cut through and the kid's out. And that's the last spot for the race. And his truck's destroyed. And like RCR team guys came over and are like helping him put the truck back together. And they made a big deal about it on TV. And I thought, wow, that still happens at that level?
Right.
Because I'm with you. I thought, no, like those guys are like, you're on your own. But they literally are like, you see like Austin Dillon, or I guess it was Ty Dillon at the time, his crew guys with all their
That's
like really
cool.
nice gear and everything are working on a truck that looks like it fell off the rig when they unloaded it, and I just
Okay,
thought that was
that's
so
badass.
neat. But you never
Yeah.
see it. You're right.
Yeah.
It's definitely, so it's cool to see they still do that in the tractor pull
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
Absolutely.
How
It's
many-
just neat to see everybody wanting their series to continue to grow and get better.
How many people are showing up to these events? Because I go to like local dirt track
Fans
stuff.
or-
Yeah, and it's packed. So I imagine it's the same.
It just depends on the venue. Well, actually, no. Wheatland, Missouri sold out, but then again, that place it holds 8,000 people.
Oh, well, darn.
I know. But
More than the IndyCar race at California Speedway.
I mean,
There it
that's a
is.
true
Out loud.
statement. That's a
Shots
true
fired.
statement.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
this
Yeah.
past Sunday on Speed Freaks, we had the Formula Drift champion on and talked about the sold-out audience at Irwindale Speedway,
Right.
and it was
Yeah.
more than IndyCar California Speedway this past summer.
So we know you guys have to get going pretty soon. We have a couple of things we've been doing as a carry on from one show to the next, and so
Did you learn anything about us?
I learned a lot. Actually,
Yeah.
I like you a lot more.
I have heard that about you.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're kind of a good-looking guy. You're opening the wounds up for me.
That's true.
So we have a couple of things we've been doing show to show to kind of continue to engage the fans if they're listening as a series. So one of
Who
those
has the
is-
worst farts in the car?
Ooh, that would engage the fans.
We actually haven't had that yet.
It's been
What?
pretty.
We've been, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because you eat rank food when you're in West Texas.
Well, I mean, we've been
Well,
trying
we
to.
eat rank food wherever we go. This
well,
is actually good.
The
but-
problem is that we've been on such a time crunch to get from place to place and still get to see some stuff that there's no time to stop and really eat. So last night we actually treated ourselves to Chili's.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, we
And
went
no
all out.
farting today?
I mean, a few I squeaked out earlier he didn't know about. So
Sure.
See how I turned it? I turned it into interviewing you guys again? That's just so
yeah,
bad.
would you let it go?
Sorry.
Come on, man. It's
Let
not,
it go.
it's not all about me. So
That's the first time he's ever said
right,
that.
that almost
ever.
didn't come out right.
Yeah.
So
By the way, this girl to my left could out fart any.
I didn't know girls farted.
Oh,
let's talk
dude.
about it. What's her
Let's don't.
what's her
God
trigger
damn.
food? What's her trigger food?
I don't have a trigger food. That's the thing.
So
I
it's just
try to
anything?
eat super healthy, but you input green, output fart.
Can't you just blame the
It's
baby?
just-
You guys have a dog?
Yeah,
I
we
used-
blame the dog. I mean,
I used to blame Henley, but no, you can't. Henley's poops and farts smell vastly different than an adult poop and fart.
Huh.
Yeah, no, so you can't. You can't. But we talked about this on our daily show last night, actually. And I don't know why.
I'm just
is it-
kicking myself in the balls
I
if
know,
I
I was
could.
gonna
I don't
say,
know why I'm bringing this
you
up.
have
Yeah, this
fart
is-
on the mind or poop on the mind. Did you know this?
Do you need to
little
go to the
fact?
bathroom, Kenny?
Yeah, right.
Do you need a minute?
There is a NASCAR driver who is very proud of turning around and taking pictures of his poops and then texting them to all his friends.
I know a couple sports car guys that do that.
Let's
so-
say that
Just
is-
dudes
really? Okay.
just do
Yeah.
that.
That's a race
Yeah.
car.
Guys
driver.
just do that.
Does he
Yeah.
name them? Or do the sports car guys name them? Because this guy names them Smashzillas.
I don't think he names them, but he describes them.
Like there's a whole website about this actually. It's called ratemypoo.com.
No.
Oh yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
making this
oh
up.
yeah.
That's a real
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can-
Then I
yeah.
need to get on there.
Terry
Yeah.
Boyd pointed that out to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's greatness.
That's a real thing.
You guys heard about the Burger King thing, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
talked about it
Turned your
last
poo-
night.
That's
Yeah.
how the subject came up.
Right.
last
That's a
night,
whole
yeah.
new situation.
How does
Turn
a
your
black burger turn your crap green?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Do you know it's a Halloween costume now?
It is. But it's a hot chick dressed up as the green poop.
It's a guy
I
in
don't
the
know how I feel
black
about that.
Burger King burger and a girl hot chick next to him looking like green poop, but with very snappy shoes.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, anyway. We keep getting you off your question that you want to go with.
So we have a theme we've been doing from interview to interview.
It's not farts.
And
Patrick Lawn, how do your farts smell?
so here's that's
That's where we're going.
That's a fair question. So, so a common theme we've been doing from episode to episode is asking a question and carrying it on to the next guest. So we just left Ovalo, Texas the other day. We saw Jeff Brown, famous racing engineer, and he asked you guys if you were granted one wish by the racing genie and you could change any racing in any way only with one thing, what would it be? His answer was he would cut downforce on all forms of motorsports across the board by 50%
Yep.
to bring the racing back. But anything you can think of, one change, racing genie, anything's possible.
First thing that comes to mind for me, because I grew up in Indianapolis. I'm a huge IndyCar fan. My dad was medical director at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway when I was young. That's my blood. I would ask the racing genie to make IndyCar popular again.
I think a lot of people would want that.
What would that take?
What would that take? New management. It would take thinking outside the box and stop working your series from inside the Holman George family and the way that they've done things for decades. Get outside the box, market the shit out of it because you got some damn good personalities that nobody knows about.
Right.
We interview Scott Dixon on Speed Freaks.
He's hilarious.
And
Yeah,
yes,
he's hilarious.
He's absolutely hysterical. And he and Kenny talk about hot biscuits and gravy, and that means something sexual, actually. And, and Scott came up with it many years ago. But, yeah, we'll put it out on Twitter that we have Scott Dixon on, and then somebody will fire back, oh, what a boring interview. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Get to know these guys that you're cheering for. So, yeah, that's what IndyCar needs to do. They need to change their marketing drastically.
Was he a 3-time or 4-time champ?
Now 4.
Four.
Okay, a 4-time IndyCar champ that loves Taco Bell. That guy's my guy.
He was at Roscoe's when I was there.
He's just a foodie. He loves
Is it in Hollywood?
Yeah, Long Beach.
Oh, yeah.
Magnus
So
yeah.
Racing
Roscoe's
had-
there now.
Oh, it's one of the originals. Yeah, it's one of the first
I
two or
thought the
three.
OG was there in Hollywood.
The OG is in Hollywood, but like the second or third one is
Got it.
just down there on 6th and Broadway. But Magnus ran a Roscoe's car, so they treated our crew to the whole dinner and whatnot. Oh, God, yeah.
man.
Well, and Roscoe's, for you 16 people listening, it's chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles.
We
but
gained
awesome.
14 listeners.
Yeah.
But Scott Dixon, just by himself, like not with an entourage, no girl, no nothing. Just we were leaving, and he walks in just on his own. I was like, I would like chicken and waffles, please. Like it was just, that's how he sounded. That's my Scott Dixon impression,
Can
by
we
the way.
can we get an accent out of you? Let's get an accent out of you.
No, there's no
Kiwi.
Is that
Kiwi.
Kiwi?
He's a
I
Kiwi.
was just like, oi!
Yeah,
I like Roscoe's. Like that's not. I'm pretty sure that's not how he sounds.
He's like a blacksmith from England in the 1800s.
You're welcome.
That's how he sounds when he's making love to Emma.
Yeah, there you
No,
go.
there- well,
Oi, I'm tired.
Oh, Scott.
I'm finished.
Oh, okay. Apparently working on number 3. Just saying. He has not rolled it out.
Did you guys know Spence Pompelli killed a guy?
I would like the France family to untie their nuts and Mark Miles to take off his vagina,
Okay.
and both of these entities meet in the same room and come up with a NASCAR IndyCar race weekend. Quit worrying about sinking the other.
Sure.
And realize that we're all in this damn thing together. Grow some nads, folks. What it's going to take? It's going to take a big time sponsor to bring these happy bastards in the same room,
Right.
to come together. Are you kidding me? You could do it at, I don't know, you could do it at Bristol, but you could do it at California. You could do it at Indy, where you could have a triple crown. You could have NHRA, IndyCar, and NASCAR. And the bad part about this is these,
NHRA too. Oh my
these,
God, that'd
these
be
entities
badass.
have forgotten really why they're in this thing. It's for the fans.
Right.
It's for the fans. The fans would go nuts if they just did it once a year at a track that Charlotte. They can accommodate all three of these entities.
Yeah.
Those are your three big boys. You got IndyCar, NASCAR, and NHRA. That's my one wish, is that these swinging dicks would get in the office together and realize, you know what? We're all dying. We're dying a slow freaking death. We better grow some balls and some wherewithal to get this thing going.
And part of the death is coming from NFL. Part of the death is coming from NBA. Part of the death is coming from the fact that you can head out on the West Coast and
So
go
there you go.
hiking
There's
any
my-
day. There's so many
All right.
different things for your entertainment dollar. Yeah, motorsports, band together. Get together and help each other.
No, you only got you. That's not you. That's me.
I know that's you, but I'm
want
agreeing with you.
IndyCar to.
Half of his idea is yours, I think. So.
I'm agreeing with you because absolutely, I just, yeah.
Is Arizona a 50-50 state, or how does it work?
Where you,
I don't even know.
All right.
Oh wow.
what the hell does that mean?
Nothing. Just a question.
He thinks we're going to be divorced at the end of this broadcast.
Oh no, we were married in California.
Right? Yeah, that's right, we were.
All right. Well,
Okay.
it's 50-50 there.
So to continue on that theme, tomorrow we'll be interviewing Patrick Long, Porsche factory driver, Le Mans winner, just all around badass.
Got it.
Question for him from you guys. Anything you want?
I was just going to ask if how many times has he been asked this year if he's related to Patrick Dempsey?
You think that's a thing?
Oh, yeah.
That they're related?
Or, no. Well, fans sometimes don't know.
He's like Patrick Dempsey's like tall and good looking, and Patrick Long
Is
is
a
like
redhead.
5 foot
He's
and
ginger.
ginger. Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
Patrick Long's a good-looking guy.
He's like 4'11". He's cute. He's
He's a
adorable.
shrunk
He's
2
a
hours.
leprechaun.
Yeah.
leprechaun.
He's an
It's on his
adorable.
helmet.
He's a leopard.
Yeah,
on his helmet.
he is now an adorable leprechaun. I will give you that, but he's just a little guy.
He's a little ginger ninja.
Yeah.
I do want to know
yeah,
how
yeah.
many actual Porsches he has. He's been a factory Porsche driver for, 15 years now? or
about
something?
35 years.
You're right. I would love to know how many he's driven, how many he has, what's his favorite. He's
All right. Well, that's her
mad
pussy
talent.
ass question.
That's
You want a
mad
legit
Here's
question?
let's get the real one.
You want a legit question for him?
Yeah.
Of the greatest sports car pilots out there, and I'll include open wheel, meaning Formula One and IndyCar, the greatest sports car or open wheel drivers out there, if he had to pick one of those men or women to where he had to sit in their piss-thrown seat to get in the car for Daytona 24 or
Le Mans.
Le
anyway.
Mans, what driver's piss would he want to sit in?
It's
Got
an
it?
excellent question because
Because imagine
no.
being able to say, you know what?
I said Mario's piece.
no, but see that's the thing because it's like if like Lally, who's a good friend, like I think Lally is a great driver, but I would not want to sit in his pee because I would know I have herpes. Right?
Is that
Can you get herpes from the butt from
is that,
piss?
No,
is
I
that
don't
transmitted
think so.
through urine?
I'm not a herpes expert.
You
Aren't
What'd you-
you?
you missed your health
Aren't
classes
you?
in high school.
Let's
didn't you?
talk about this, Sean. They had mouth sores. I don't know anything about herpes, though. Whoa. Contradicting interview here, pal.
Because Long's been in the Freak Nation a dozen or so times, and he knows that he doesn't need to get a pussy-ass question from like crap.
All right, fine. Sorry, I asked a pussy-ass question.
How do you get in the Freak Nation? Is there a card? Is there a handshake?
It's a
There's
fan
like- I
club,
know I'll
right?
never
But
get in it.
There's dues. There's definitely dues.
There's
right?
clearly
It's a permanent
dues.
mouth sore.
It's a permanent milestone.
Gaping.
I can work on this.
God, I've interviewed
Okay,
the biggest
hold on,
dang
though.
names in all of music, and I've never seen a mouth sore. I mean, she sat
You're
this
not
close to
close
Lemmy.
enough.
No,
All right.
I've been close.
All right.
I've been real close to David Gilmour of Pink Floyd, unfortunately. But no, I've never
No?
seen a mouth sore in these guys.
Okay.
I was shocked when Lemmy brought his boy toy with him into the
Well, it wasn't his boy toy. It was his Jack Daniels filler-upper with tight pants.
Okay.
Continue.
Yeah.
No, she nailed it though. We have some of the biggest names of music on the show.
On your sports talk show?
It's if you look at the
We're different.
moniker for Speed Freaks, it's a lifestyle show that just so happens to be about motorsports.
Sure.
And one weekend you could hear Lemmy of Motorhead, Mario Andretti, and some dude reviewing a movie.
Cool.
That's
All
cool.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I dig that.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Well,
are you
this
where
is
you're?
kind of-
Okay, go
I
ahead.
was to say this is a podcast, that happens to be about mouth sores.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we kind of understand your whole thing there.
If you notice that across from me, Eversley has had his hand on his mouth 96% of the time. Are you hiding something?
My hands are clean.
With a beard.
So is my face. The beard's new. That's just because I'm lazy and I know it's a radio show.
Right.
So I'm like, finally.
Isn't
That
it
looks-
great?
that looks pretty
Radio's
tight, though.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
High and tight.
I definitely look like I took care of it. I knew you were coming. I know how you like to take care of yourself. I
See,
didn't
see,
want to
you have your
embarrass
hand- you have
myself.
your hand on your
I'm
mouth
like,
again.
Because I'm nervous.
That's
You
radio.
make me
That's
nervous.
podcast 101. You keep your hand away from your mouth.
Wait. You don't have a podcast. You don't tell me about podcasts. I tell you about podcasts.
You want me to tell you how we correct dudes on the air for us?
Oh, well, we're
Suave.
currently
Okay,
training.
speaking of, I give people names, okay?
Okay.
This guy,
Suave.
this guy's
Suave.
name is Richard Flores.
Oh,
Richie
yeah.
Flores, and he talks like this. So I gave him the name Suave for Rico. Was it
Rico.
Rico Suave.
Suave.
He's the furthest from being suave. And he reads a segment on our show for No Huddle, and I noticed that he was using a lot of ums.
Which
Just
is
one of my
big
pet
peeve
peeves. You
of
just
mine.
can't do it.
I do it all the time.
All right.
Yeah.
So
This
so
is
we
how we-
corrected him. We tried to correct him the other night, where I said that the number of ums that you drop on the show, Crasher is going to drop a 16-inch softball on your nuts.
From how high?
Her height.
Just me standing.
We have a
5'3".
jock strap in the studio.
Of course you do.
This makes sense.
So if you ever want to correct him
Okay.
with his hand to mouth sore,
Try
say
to.
the number of times you put your hand on your mouth,
I didn't know it
you
was
get
a
this
problem.
fake
Yeah, I
little
did.
wiggy.
All right.
So basically, what you're implying is that you'd like us to get into S&M with you.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I
Absolutely.
heard.
It's the Freak Nation, bro.
Well, it just so happens we're near Tempe.
Well, weird.
Is this still brought to you by Continental Tire?
It was.
So much gets cut out. It's literally like,
Oh, I feel
hi, how are you guys? End of segment.
Thanks for
Yeah.
coming.
Thanks
And
for lunch.
Lunch was delicious. There were so many stories.
You know where we're going right here? Right after this? We're going to go pick up our daughter. What's
I
it?
called it.
Holy shit.
I
Yeah,
called
no,
it.
yeah, absolutely.
So what do you win?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah,
There's nothing to give.
Yeah.
You guys are good luck, man. Rangers. Yeah, 3-2.
Okay, yeah.
But hold on real
Fair
quick.
enough.
You said
Oh,
Jeff
hell.
Braun answered I
Brown.
always
Brown.
do
all good.
that.
Brown
I
is
did
it's
too.
okay.
Here's the
It's
deal. I
everything.
worked with Jeff when I was at, Dick Simon Racing became Team Scandia, and
Yep.
I worked
Yeah,
with Jeff.
yeah.
So I've known how to pronounce his name
That's awesome.
for
Yeah.
years. However, I always say when we have Colin on, Colin Braun. No, it's Brown. I know. but no, here's the deal. Jeff answered the question that he asked us. So do we have to answer the question that we asked Patrick? Like, whose pee would we want to sit in?
Well, he wanted to answer his question. He was like, and here's why I'm asking, because here's what I do. And we were like, you don't have
That's
to.
fine, yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. So.
No, I
But
think
if you
I would-
wanna
I would
answer it,
wanna-
I hope when you say that to Patrick, he goes, oh.
I have a feeling that's going to be.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
I'm pretty sure you're spot
I mean,
on,
when
yeah.
he sees us, that's what he's going to say. He's
Yeah,
like, "Ugh."
because he's been pretty much down for this whole thing, and then he's gonna look us face to face.
Once he realizes what it really is, he's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is actually happening.
One of the legendest calls we've ever had, and this dude's pretty much a religious fanatic at this point, is Michael McDowell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This happy bastard. We
was
get him
funny.
on the show on a Saturday afternoon after his wedding on his honeymoon. Dude is calling in bedside.
No. We called him, and he picked up
Picked
the
up the
freaking
phone.
phone. We're like,
Hello.
and we didn't know it was his wedding. We're just like, oh, let's call Michael because he just finished blah 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 whatever. And yeah, we call him. He picks up the phone. It wasn't bedside. I thought they were in the limo. I don't know. What?
Just
Regardless,
tell
it
us,
was
which is the juicier story?
okay. Bedside.
He's strapping one on, man.
Stop it.
All right.
Stop it.
Hey,
no,
go
I'm
use the
still trying to
restroom.
think
Go
whose
ahead.
pee I want to sit in. I am.
just a normal Wednesday conversation.
That's
Exactly.
that might have
that
to
might
be
be
the
our
end of the
opening, yeah.
show. I'm trying to figure out whose pee I want to sit in. Dinner with racers.
Maybe I will go. You know what? I just praised Erica Enders. Fine, I'll go sit in her pee. I said in Erica's
I'd
pee.
probably sit in her pee.
Well, yeah, it's a little different for you guys,
Again?
though. Oh my God.
And I'd also drive a race car with her.
Well, I guess that's it. You got to pick up your daughter, right?
Henley.
Henley.
Yep.
Henley, named after Isla Fisher,
You're right.
which I did know off the top of my head, by the way.
Did not have to
I
Google
did,
it.
in fact, know that. So,
So you're a fan of the movie?
no, I'm a fan of hers,
Yeah, she's hot.
but
was a good
She's
movie.
married to
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, she was in Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. I'll find you.
I will find you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right. Well, we'll let you get out of here. That's it.
Because now we're going to get poop on our hands. Awesome.
And then you're gonna see the baby.
And then-
Well, Continental's got the check.
Kenny and Crash. They are genuinely fun people to hang out with. It was well worth the drive through Phoenix to grab a little bit of lunch and talk crap. So anyway, I don't know how they do it, to be honest, because they actually make a living at doing this stuff, which is no easy feat. But anyway, moving on. Rolling us out of this one will be a band that some people actually may have heard of, known as Slightly Stupid. They've gotten a lot of play, at least in the LA scene, but they're a big hit with sort of the dirt racing and motocross crowd, and they're represented by Silverback Music, who, for whatever reason, seems to be fans of what we're doing here. So we're happy to put them out there. So in honor of Kenny and Crash, here's Slightly Stupid and 2 a.m., also available on iTunes. Enjoy.
And then they come and do what telling me just get on my floor. Even though I'm on my floor, put the gun to my